Today I fucked up by, finally, having sex after my prostate biopsy, NSFW. This literally just happened today, the sex, not the biopsy. I'll need to start with a little background. I'm a middle-aged, 50s, man who has been experiencing enlarged prostate issues for about 10 years now. Over the past couple years the symptoms have gotten worse, and my PSA score indicates enlarged prostate, but also indicates cancer risk, went up considerably. This led to additional testing like ultrasounds, then MRI to take increasingly detailed looks at my prostate. The MRI indicated some denser spots that looked a bit concerning, so the next step was a biopsy to get a sample tested for cancer. The prostate biopsy is not the worst procedure you can go through, but not something I want to repeat soon. Basically they insert needles into your prostate to extract tissue samples. Luckily they knocked me out with a general anesthetic, so the ordeal came afterwards rather than during the procedure. Before I could leave the hospital I had to do a test P to be sure I was still functioning properly. My prostate had become even more enlarged as a response to the invasive procedure, so getting started was difficult. Just as the first couple of drops started to come out it literally felt like I was peeing razor blades. And those first few drops were mostly blood. The post-op notes said that I would have some blood in my urine for a few days, along with some tenderness in my lower groin area, but not something I should be too concerned about. The follow-up visit with my urologist was 10 days later, so I just waited to heal up and monitored my recovery. I was still having a few drops of blood appearing at the start of each urination, but otherwise seemed to be healing up well. The urologist confirmed that my biopsy was negative, yay, and that we would continue to monitor over the months/years to come. We briefly discussed the presence of blood and he said that it could last for up to 6 weeks and that there would likely be blood in my semen as well. I had assumed as much anyway due to the traces of blood in my urine. I was actually more concerned with having prostate issues during sex than traces of blood. My poor wife had gone nearly 1 month without sex during this time and had been asking me frequently when we could get busy again. So even though I didn't think I was quite ready for it, I decided to have a try at sex. Everything went normally and I didn't have any significant discomfort during the sex up until the finale. My orgasm was interrupted by pain in my prostate and it almost felt like I didn't release much semen. I stayed inside my wife for a while waiting for the pain to subside, then eventually grabbed a wad of tissue for the cleanup. I'm usually adept at pressing the tissue wad into position as I withdraw, but this time I wasn't quite fast enough and some semen escaped. This didn't look anything like semen though. It didn't even look like blood. It was actually black and was getting everywhere. It was leaking out of my wife, and the tissue wasn't able to contain it. It started getting onto the sheets, so I hastily tried to grab some more tissue to clean it up. Then I looked down and noticed that it was still oozing out of my penis and dribbling onto the sheets. It quickly became a chaotic scene with my wife scrambling for the shower with black ooze all over her hands and splotches left in her trail. The sheets are currently in the washer and hopefully the blood stains will come out. My wife and I are both still a bit traumatized by the ordeal and will likely wait a while before having sex again. Sorry this post ended up being a lot longer than I expected. Edit. Good news, the sheets came out of the washer without a trace. Laundry tip I learned for dealing with blood on fabrics: don't put water on it. Instead put soap directly on it and let it soak in for a few minutes. Almost any kind of soap will do, but I usually reach for liquid dish soap. Too long didn't read. Having sex after a prostate biopsy looks like zombie porn. Well, on the bright side, congrats on the sex. Damn bro, you're ascending to demonhood. Old blood is black. Your wife knows this, deals with it every month. But you may want to clean your pipes yourself a few times to make sure you're cleared out of the old before involving her. Just cause trauma. Sure, but she's post-menopause and hasn't dealt with menstruation in a few years. Plus she never would have expected a black mass to be ejecting from me. You are on your 50s and your wife begs you for sex. Don't be fooled my man, you are lucky. Doesn't matter, had sex. Today I fucked up by tripping on acid in public. So with the new lockdown starting yesterday in Germany, schools and universities had to be closed, so we got an extra week vacation. What's the best way to celebrate that? LSD. I took 2 tabs Saturday and went to the city center to enjoy the Christmas lights. Now you should all know that it was both my first time doing 2 tabs and tripping in public, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but I still went with it. When I arrived, the acid started to take effect. So to not attract attention to myself, I put on my face mask and sunglasses. It was cloudy and almost dark. I started walking around slowly, looking at the Christmas trees inside shops and trying to look sober. Well, after an hour my mind fucking crashed. I experienced complete ego death and didn't have control over my body, so I tried as hard as I could to find a spot and sit down and enjoy the visuals. After a few minutes I noticed people were looking at me and whispering to each other, so I freaked out and called my friend on the phone for help. As I was waiting for him, a couple of police officers came to me and asked if everything was alright. I fucking panicked because there was a new law that forbids public intoxication, so I would either admit I was drunk and pay a €60 fine or tell them I was on drugs and get arrested. That's when my friend showed to my rescue. I jumped and gripped his arm. I didn't even speak good German. He apologized to the officers and told them that I was autistic and that I get nervous when talking to people. Thankfully I don't look like someone who does drugs, so they just laughed and wished us a happy Christmas. My friend pissed himself laughing at me after they left. Then he took me to his house to enjoy the rest of my trip, which I didn't, but I'm so grateful for him. I have no idea what would have happened without him. Too long, didn't read, took a high dose of LSD in public, attracted too much attention, cops showed up, friend lied about me being autistic to get them off my back. That's a road dog for life right there. Oh, fuck yeah, we've been friends for 6 years now. I trust him with my life. Is there an appeal to doing it in public? I like the randomness of it, being part of the trip rather than just a safe observer. My friend, who is a really straight and narrow dude, outstanding guy, decided it would be a good idea to take LSD at his bachelor party at a MLB game. He'd done LSD plenty of times before. Anyways, we get to our seats, and we sit down right next to a family that has young kids that are current and former junior high students of another member of our party who also was tripping. I got to hand it to the teacher. He held it down. I was the designated driver, so I wasn't tripping, but just the oh shit of the situation kinda re-emerged me into the acid headspace. We don't even get to the 4th inning before the bachelor is obviously not having a good time and agrees it's time to go. As we're walking out of the stadium, the bachelor, in all of his LSD trip in glory, walked right up to a police officer and told the poor cop that we had to leave because this was a family event and he didn't feel it was appropriate for us to be there. And the cop is kinda like, what do you mean? And I shoved my arm over Buddy's shoulder, and I told the cop, hey, my brother has autism, sometimes he gets in weird moods and this stadium had got him off kilter. Thank God the cop didn't inquire any further, because the bachelor had more drugs in his pocket. Holy shit, dude, sounds like a great time, and I see that the autism card always works. Awesome friend, and glad you made it out. I know how you felt. Lol. Thanks. I definitely got lucky. Oh man, public tripping is only good for me when it's a communal activity like a concert or museum. Otherwise I get so anxious that there are strangers. Lol. Today I fucked up by being COVID positive and a type 1 diabetic. Unfortunate for me but fun for you. Though I've been sick for about 5 days and it wasn't awful. I felt like I had a moderately bad cold but no fever, and I stayed home in self-quarantine, and I have to go back to work tomorrow, so I went to get tested today just in case, and turns out I'm positive. Velp, I am sitting at home and I'm eating lunch and my sense of taste goes away within starting my meal and finishing it, and now as I am writing this, can't taste or smell a darn thing. I can bury my face in a candle and nothing comes from it, and I can drink pickle juice like water and not taste a darn thing. Well, the fuck up happened when I ate dinner I ordered from DoorDash and they left it on my porch. Because I'm a type 1 diabetic, I ordered a small meal and a diet pop that I'm guessing wasn't so sugar free. I am now working my blood sugar down and waiting for Cyberpunk to release on console. I hope your day was better than mine. Wash your hands and wear your masks. Lol. If y'all have any questions about diabetes and COVID, I'm more than happy to answer them as best I can. TLDR, lost my sense of taste and smell because of COVID and drank a large cup of regular pop and didn't know because it was supposed to be diet. FML. Hey, please be careful. Being diabetic is bad enough, but having COVID on top of it is dangerous as hell. Please keep posting to let us know you are okay, especially after a couple days. I'm not trying to scare you, but there are cases where the person felt fine after they tested positive for about 3 or 4 days. Then by the 5th day they were dead. Just saying, try to stay safe. I will try my best to keep you all updated. Thank you for the concern. So I am also a type 1 diabetic. Here's a life hack. Use your meter and a strip to check your pop before drinking it if you're unsure or just can't be sure. It will fail the test if it's diet but will read over 600 if it's regular. You're welcome. My daughter was diagnosed a type 1 at 2 years old and I have always been fearful of getting anything diet for her to drink at a restaurant. I'm so sorry and hope it doesn't wreck your sugar levels too bad. Please take care of yourself and keep us updated. When growing up, my dad would double check with the fast food worker and he always cautioned me to make sure by tasting. The best piece of advice is to learn the different tastes between the two. I can tell pretty easy, just not today. Lol. I will try my best to take care of myself the best I can. Thank you for the concern. My dad is diabetic as well and he's recovered from COVID, but his taste/smell haven't returned even after 4 months. I feel horrible for him. I hope you recover fast and enjoy Cyberpunk up. For someone who loves food like me, that would suck so bad. I can't even imagine not tasting my favorite food. Not knocking you here, but why bother with pop if you can't taste anything? You're paying for something that would be no different than water. Nothing about COVID is good, but the silver lining is you can have a perfect diet of things people don't normally like. Broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts, etc. And it would be the same as pizza or steak while you can't taste. Honestly, it was out of complete habit and slight forgetfulness. It's been a frantic day meeting with doctors and getting family members tested. I kinda forgot I couldn't smell or taste anything, so I ordered my favorite fast food and drink and watched my sugars climb to a normal level after I eat and then climb a lot more. I do plan on having a fantastic diet over the next few weeks now. Lol.